Okay, did some cleaning. Thought I'd give a little update of the $700 Land Rover. A little less windy today. Hopefully the audio won't be so bad. So, things wrong with it. This bumper. Well, let's look at the inside first. The cleaning was very successful. Haven't done the headliner yet. Not sure how I'm gonna do it. Might take it down, but the cleaning was very successful. All the doors looking much better. All that black stuff on the headrests. Much nicer. Back. This literally took about 20 hours of scrubbing. Still wish this would come out better. And the floor here, it's looking pretty good. It's still a little damp. Probably gonna leave this open. Yeah, those things up there, everything was dirty. Alright, so let's go over what's wrong with it. When you put the key on, the hazards are going off. That's the immobilizer switch. It was taken off and this had a bypass in it, which still had the hazards go off. The only way to turn the hazards off are to take out the fuse here for the hazards. Right there, F14, which is that one. Okay, so it throws some codes about power and stuff like that. It turns over but doesn't start. I don't think it's getting fuel because the hazards are related to the security system. Alright, let's go with things I've found. This wire to the AC, the alternator, is rubber bare down here. I think there's two of them touching in that spot. The O2 sensor looks chewed on, the wire looks chewed on, but it doesn't seem to be damaged because that's not throwing a code. It's throwing a code for the front right ABS thing. And I don't think it's the ABS sensor though. It's also throwing a voltage code, battery voltage, improbable, and some other codes, which might be because the charger was hooked up. But it was throwing them even when the charger wasn't hooked up. But here, on this side, if you look, you can see it's at 3, one completely gone, another one completely gone, and then if you look, see if I can zoom in here, there's a chewed on, another one chewed on there. There's like 4+ wires in the harness. And don't worry, the harness is only $4,000, or if you can find them used. The real solution is take that out, or take some of this stuff out, so you can get in here and repair it. Because it's only X amount of wires. It makes me think there might be other wires somewhere around that have some damage, but so far that's all it's seen. I think once those wires are fixed, everything else will be solved. Possibly the hazards and the security things still won't be solved, and that, I believe, is related to this key. So, let's get inside here. This key, these are the buttons. That is the unlock button, which you can't press. I could try pushing it with something, but I've tried a couple things. Nothing's worked. That's the lock button, which still works. You have to unlock it to immobilize the security system. So, getting this key, getting a mobile mechanic to come up here for 2 keys is $750. For the $700 Land Rover, that doesn't make much sense. Getting a cheap Chinese key, which I'm pretty sure they all are. Yeah, see, No start here. Getting a cheap Chinese key is $30. Getting them to clone this, because this still locks, so it's still connected. It still connects. Keys cut right. Programming should be okay. But getting a $30 one of these, then spending like $100 to get it cloned down in Palm Springs, probably be the solution for the security system. If the wires are not. I took down the glove box, looked in there, everything seems fine. Got more sand in here. It's impossible not to get sand in here just getting in and out. But this was completely cleaned. I'm amazed at how everything came out. It like, all the black stuff pretty much came off. The seats have some wear, but that's the color they put on the leather wearing off. It's not dirt. So the solution would be, I think, is you can spend a little cash and get the color, polish, and just rub probably all this net part, the mesh part or whatever, front and back. All the solid leather looks pretty good, but the mesh leather in the middle seems to lose its color. Like, look at this two seats in comparison. It's that mesh, just same with over here. Just gets faded real fast. The back of the seats look amazing. There was so much black stuff on this. This makes me think that if you have a black interior car, your car's filthy and you just don't know. Because I've always had black interior cars pretty much. Yeah, real pretty, looking real nice. Rock rails, and of course the front bumper is dented, but I don't think the frame's damaged. But I think the solution is take it to a body shop and have them try to bend the bumper straight and measure the frame. They got these things that are huge jacks on the floor in 4 directions called frame pullers, and they measure the frame's placement with lasers, and they can pull it straight. And because this is a body on frame and not a unibody, you should be able to pull it straight and have it just be fine. Or if there's part of it broken, sometimes the front frame extensions are separate parts specifically so they can break when they get hit, and you can replace that, not the whole frame. But yeah, it's coming along. It's kind of nervous. This is where the computer's supposed to be on a bunch of them. But then in some year they switched it, and this one's in the glove box here. I already have the other spring taken out so I can access it, because this is pretty tricky. So you pull this down. Yeah, let's see. Pull this thing up all the way until it pops out, the spring thing. And that's got to come out of that hole. And then inside there are all the computers. Fortunately, this thing, this iCar soft, was left in the glove box for free. And this does Jaguars and Land Rovers only. And it's the weirdest system I've ever seen. There are, I think it's 13 or 14 different computers. So when you scan it, you just get the codes from the motor. Those 3 amigos, the famous traction control, ABS, and oh, look at that. That didn't really clean up at all. The traction control, the ABS, and the what was the other one? Hill descent. Those come on because of the subsystem that is, I think it's labeled ABS. There's another subsystem labeled security. All those can throw codes, but a normal scanner won't scan them. There's a bunch of subsystems. There's a subsystem for the air conditioning. There's a subsystem for the lighting. There's a subsystem for the gauges. There's a subsystem for a bunch of stuff, which sounds terrible at first, but it's actually kind of cool. Oh, you can see just how this needs more cleaning. I don't know if you can see the filth on there, but yeah, that's how the whole car was. All the subsystems, they give you better diagnostics, actually, I think, than the normal one is. Even though it's overly complicated in a way that makes sense. Because if you think about it, most ODB sensors are pretty limited in what they give back to you. This is actually it's confused because of the wires, but it has given back different information that would help you narrow it down if it was a normal non-wire related problem. As opposed to just, for example, saying that there's an ABS problem, it tells you exactly which sensor. They tell you about voltage. I have voltage issues between, I think it's the compressor, the AC compressor. So I know a wire between the AC compressor and whatever is messed up. It says that there's a voltage problem coming out the battery. So